Recently the Chinese press published an article with the title, "The US is encircling China's semiconductors in a U-shape. Will the game between China and the US turn from a struggle into a wrestling match?" Next, we invite you to listen to the content of the article in this video. And remember to like and subscribe to the channel so we can see you in the next video. As soon as 2024 begins, the United States' big stick to contain China's semiconductor industry will come. On January 2, ASML responded to the Chinese media that the Dutch government had partially revoked the previously issued export license for 2 lithography machines to be shipped in 2023. Later, the media revealed that this was just the result of the US government's pressure on the Dutch government. This once again shows that the Dutch government's export of semiconductor equipment to China depends on the face of the United States. On November 16, 2021, during the epidemic, the leaders of China and the United States held a video meeting. Biden proposed to China for the first time, for no intentions, including, not seeking to change China's system, not seeking a new Cold War, and not seeking to strengthen the alliance through relationship is against China, does not support Taiwan independence, and has no intention of conflict with China. On November 14, 2022, the leaders of China and the United States met in Bali. Biden once again expressed his stance on China, upgrading the 4 no's and 1 unintentional intention to 5 no's and 4 unintentional intentions, including, not seeking to change China's system, not seeking new Cold War, does not seek to oppose China by strengthening alliance relations, does not support Taiwan independence, does not support 2 Chinas or 1 China, 1 Taiwan, and has no intention of conflict with China. The United States also has no intention of seeking decoupling from China, with no intention to hinder China's economic development and no intention to contain China. On November 19, 2023, Chinese and American leaders met in San Francisco. Biden once again reiterated the 4 no's, 1 no intention, commitment and the 2 no seeks, including, the United States does not seek a new Cold War, does not seek to change China's system, and does not seek to it opposes China by strengthening its alliance, does not support Taiwan independence, and has no intention of conflict with China. The United States and China are economically interdependent. And the United States is happy to see China develop and prosper, and does not seek to suppress or contain China's development, nor does it seek to decouple from China. Only by listening to his words and watching his actions can you see his true face, and since 2021, what China has experienced is indeed this. 1. What will Biden do in China's semiconductor supply chain in 2023? Looking back on 2023, in promoting the decoupling of the semiconductor supply chain from China and building a US-led global semiconductor supply chain system, these major events are worth reviewing. 1. Semiconductor equipment small circle. On January 27, 2023, the U.S. government reached an agreement with Japan and the Netherlands to jointly restrict the export of semiconductor equipment and technology to China. Restricting the export of advanced semiconductor manufacturing equipment and technology to China. 2. Chip Quartet Alliance. From February 15 to 16, 2023, under the auspices of the American Institute in Taiwan, the United States held the first video meeting of officials of the U.S. East Asia Semiconductor Supply Chain Resilience Working Group to promote the establishment of the United States, the Chip Quad Alliance of South Korea, Japan and Taiwan. 3. IPF Supply Chain Agreement. On May 27, 2023, the U.S.-led IPF Ministerial Conference was held in Detroit, the United States. For the first time, the member states reached an agreement in the supply chain field. 4. Legalized decoupling from China. On September 22, 2023, the U.S. Department of Commerce's Chip Program Office issued a statement stating that the final guardrail rules of the Chip and Science Act of 2022 were released. Reduce dependence on Asian supply chains by providing financial support for U.S. semiconductor manufacturing, research and development, and supply chains. 5. Upgrade restrictions on chip sales to China. On October 17, 2023, the U.S. Department of Commerce's Bureau of Industry and Security listed 13 Chinese companies on the entity list and released the Advanced Computing Chip Update Rules and Semiconductor Manufacturing Items Updated Rules. Comprehensively upgraded the Semiconductor Export Control Rules to China. 6. Institutionalization of the national supply chain. On November 27, 2023, U.S. President Biden announced at the White House the establishment of a so-called Supply Chain Resilience Committee, based on 30 new measures to strengthen the United States' response to its own economic development and the country's control of strategic security. 7. Supply Chain Review of 100 Companies. On December 21, 2023, the U.S. Department of Commerce announced that it would launch an investigation into the supply chain of the U.S. semiconductor industry and the defense industry, focusing on the way 100 companies purchase semiconductors produced in China. 2. The U.S.'s U-shaped encirclement of China's semiconductor supply chain. When Biden replaced Trump in 2021, many people imagined that after Trump, who had radically decoupled and contained China, was dismissed, Biden, who pays attention to rules, might be conducive to the repair of the Sino-U.S. supply chain. But the reality is that this is just an illusion of wishful thinking, and China has just ushered in a more intensified decoupling. On February 24, 2021, President Biden issued Executive Order No. 14017, requiring the U.S. government to assess the supply chains of 4 key products, including semiconductor manufacturing and advanced packaging, critical minerals and materials, and new energy batteries. This is the 100-day supply chain review. By June 8 of the same year, the White House released the report Building Resilient Supply Chains, Revitalizing American Manufacturing, and Promoting Broad-Based Growth. By November 27, 2023, U.S. President Biden announced the establishment of the Supply Chain Resilience Committee at the White House, which became an important step for Biden to promote institutional decoupling from China. On December 21, 2023, the U.S. Department of Commerce announced that it would launch a supply chain investigation of 100 companies. We call it the 100 Enterprise Supply Chain Investigation. It can be seen that the United States' stranglehold on China's high-tech sector will not stop in the short term. Yang Daqing, a researcher who focuses on geologistics and supply chains and the author of The Sheepfold Dilemma, analyzed that Biden's 100-day supply chain review provides a preliminary investigation for his 3-year promotion of institutionalized decoupling and systematic decoupling from China. During the Trump era, under the America First strategy, he not only exerted extreme pressure on China's supply chain, but also indiscriminately hit allies such as Europe and Japan. Bullying in the supply chain triggered resistance among allies. After Biden came to power, he coerced and lured allies to jointly form a small de-sinification circle to contain China's supply chain in a clustered manner in the Indo-Pacific region. The Indo-Pacific Supply Chain Circle was formed. He sought to contain China's supply chain in a chain around China, and the Chip Quartet was formed. The alliance collaborates with the semiconductor supply chain of the United States, Japan, India and Australia. Yang Daqing analyzed that based on the geopolitical situation, Biden's encirclement of China's supply chain seems to have formed a U-shaped encirclement or bag-shaped encirclement. Japan and India are the 2 core pillars of the U-shaped encirclement. However, the essence of supply chain cooperation is synergy and symbiosis guided by interests. In the digital supply chain era of you have me, I have you, Biden's U-shaped encirclement contains too many selfish interests that harm others and will only to poison the already fragile global supply chain. A new mutually beneficial and symbiotic national supply chain relationship with the goal of building a community with a shared future for mankind will gain understanding. 1. U-shaped East, 4-party chip alliance of the United States, Japan, South Korea and Taiwan. The east side of the U-shaped encirclement is also the ally countries and regions of the United States' first island chain. On March 29, 2022, the South Korean government officially confirmed that the United States proposed to establish a chip alliance, Chip 4, composed of the United States, Japan, Taiwan, and South Korea. In addition to the United States Intel, Qualcomm, Micron, and Broadcom. The invited companies include Japan's Toshiba, Renesas, and Tokyo Electronics, China's Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, Limited, MediaTek, and ASE, as well as South Korea's Samsung and SK Hynix, have implemented a closed-loop chip supply chain, excluding mainland companies. In fact, as early as May 11, 2021, 64 companies in the United States, Europe, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and other places have established the American Semiconductor Alliance, SIAC. The organization is an alliance composed of semiconductor companies and semiconductor downstream users that form the entire supply chain. That's all the content written by the Chinese press. What do you think? Please let us know your opinion in the comments section below the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so we can see you again in the next video. Next. Goodbye.